Well, yeah, maybe just, got rid of
This was
That's a good one. Smallest, gladdest, and lowest.
Well, did you know JD stands for? JD, after their name, Jared Freedom Stock. It stands for JD.
Can I have your,
MD stands for
ordinances
major.
in order?
That's the agenda. That's fine. Did you know JD stands for major? It stands for lighter. MD stands for
Just mess them up. I've heard about you. I've not.
Let's see.
It's 5:30.
Call our meeting to order. Say the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Any additions or changes to the agenda?
I would suggest if our prosecutor and judge show up, that we push them up towards the top so we don't make them sit here for hours, but game time decision, I don't see them here yet, but just one suggestion.
As long as you guys don't talk them to death.
We'll try not to.
Okay. Teresa said the percent she wants to get out too.
Oh, I didn't mean to, oh, yeah,
What,
sorry.
chop liver?
You should bring less and then you'll go to the top more often.
That's right. All right, let's get going. Excuse me, okay, all right.
He's ready to adjourn
I'll
already.
be out of here. Motion to adjourn. I'll be out of here by 6:15.
You want a motion to approve the minutes?
Yes, I do.
I move we approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Darren?
Yes.
Judy?
Yes.
Scott?
Yeah.
Gary?
Yes.
Patrick?
Yes.
Joel?
Yes.
Jim?
No, I don't know, let me think about it. Yes.
It's gonna be one of those nights, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Okay, old business, Reedy budget update, Jerry Hickman, appreciate you coming.
Thank you, guys.
All hard work.
I went ahead and put the.
Flip your mic. I'm deaf.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. I went ahead and passed out a packet for you guys. I'm here tonight to hopefully alleviate some of the, concerns during the budget adoption. So within this packet, the first thing that's listed is kind of an outline because there is quite a bit of information. We don't have to go into detail on all of it. I know a big portion of it is a budget book, so we don't have to look at that. But within your packet, it's in order based off of this outline. So just to dive right in, so the first item there is the RFG budget book versus the adopted budget in Gateway. So what this report shows, and it's the attachment right after the outline. What this report shows is any discrepancies between the budget book that we provided that you guys saw and did your public hearing on October 3rd versus what was ultimately entered into Gateway and adopted. So we just went through the specific line items. The only changes were in the general fund. And then we have notes over to the side, any, our assumptions or anything that shows why there was a difference. I know, like, for example, the very first line item, that was one that you guys actually discussed in that meeting on October 20th. And I believe you guys voted to approve that, so that was one of those changes. And then throughout here, I will point out what we did for salaries is we ended up taking, and it says Jim's salary spreadsheet because we received it from Jim. And then we added $100 longevity. If you see any of them that were $1 off, for example, this second one, that's because there was decimals on his report and we rounded up so that there were no appropriation issues towards the end of the year, even since.
I noticed those two on Jim's, he was off $1. I was gonna point that out. So he wasn't actually wrong on those, unfortunately.
No, it was just rounding. So on his report, it rounded down,
All
but.
right.
And that's how we ended up building out the salaries. I know a big portion of this is sheriff, and we put $100 for longevity, which based off of what Julie put together, it makes me think that the sheriff does not receive longevity. So that is correct as far, so any of that stuff, we went ahead and put in there. Better to, have it in there and not need it than other way around and not to do any additionals. So a lot of those where you see the sheriff receive longevity, if not Julie's amount is correct. We go through there, I think the very first one outside of that is this Lieutenant Colton. Once again, we just used the spreadsheet, but based off of what Julie put in there, and that's actually what the department actually requested. So once again, we were just going off of that salary spreadsheet. Then moving through here, total wise, there weren't a lot of changes that she made. It ended up being a total of $12,969, which was the difference between the October 3rd ordinance and the October 20th ordinance. There were 4 line items I do want to point out in circuit court that we did not have in there. And when we talked to Julie, it was the night before the meeting, we were able to get those put back in there. And then this last line item, the EMA administrator, it's in the budget, but I had a note that you guys decided to eliminate that, but it is in there currently. So if that's not needed, it can be. And I have the source documents as far as the notes that we received. It's out. So right there, that's $37,089 that can be eliminated or just not spent in the budget. So these are the changes based off of what we had in our budget book versus for the October 3rd meeting versus what was adopted in the 20th. So only $12,969 difference. The next couple of reports just quickly shows, you guys have seen these before, the surplus deficit, and it's based off of the October 3rd versus what's in Gateway now and what was adopted. The only changes were obviously in the general fund, so not substantial amount. I will point out that revenue projections did slightly change, nothing material, but the October budget book that we provided, that was through August. So throughout the year, obviously revenues are going to trend up and down, up and down. Well, when we did the new one, we used through September. So revenues did change slightly, but like I mentioned, nothing material. So based off of what you guys saw with the surplus deficit and what was presented on October 3rd versus what's adopted, there's not a whole lot of changes, but if you want to know, obviously, which specific line items were changed, it's under that first report.
Jerry, did you include the 2 Form 4s?
I have a copy of both of them if you'd like to see it. I did not print 12 copies of it, I just have one of each showing that is the only changes in the general fund budget. I included the budget book that we provided, that's October 3rd. I didn't print off both of them. I just have this one with the understanding that the only difference is in what was adopted is on that first report. Then after that, and I went ahead and provided you guys with this information. This is probably something me and Julie, we've already discussed. We're going to meet, we're going to go over all this stuff, make sure that, you know, we're on the same page. I'm jumping a little bit ahead, but it's very important, especially next year during the budget process. We've talked, we're going to meet at least once, maybe twice, maybe 3 times. We're going to go over the budget. We're going to go over the gateway information. We're going to make sure that everybody's on the same page so that there's no concerns, you know, during, you know, adoption, well in advance of adoption. But we received a notes page that was Julie's notes as far as she just had questions. So that's what this is. We don't have to go through these 3 pages. That's something that Julie and I can go over and discuss. Just to give you a big picture, we have source documents and reasoning why we did anything that we did. I know that I always say this, like, we won't make changes unless it were directed to do so. So we have the source documents. I can get with Julie, discuss any of those changes that we made, and make sure that we're on, you know, the same page. Now, the last report is miscellaneous revenues, and it's just this 1 pager. And I just want to give you guys big picture look at what's entered in the gateway versus what actually is receipted. So revenue projections, we obviously put together your guys' financial plan. We look at historical revenues, prior 3 years. We look at trends. Obviously, property taxes, income taxes are the 2 major sources of revenues, you know, specifically for your general fund. Now, what you enter into gateway for miscellaneous revenues, I mean, you can put whatever you want. Go ahead.
You're on the last page.
The last
You go to the
page.
very last page.
The very last
And
page.
Jerry says one of the most important parts, it's 1 page, the very end. It's actually a single page. Very last page.
Yeah, very last page, just 1 page. Gateway estimate of miscellaneous revenues versus actual. So what you put in gateway, the county can put whatever they want in there. They could put miscellaneous revenues of $1,000 or $100 million. For the most part, other than property taxes and income taxes, the DLGF's going to take your word for it. So if you are extremely conservative in what you put in the gateway forms, I mean, the DLGF's going to take that, it's going to spit out projections based off of that. Historically, and for 2026, what was entered in there is extremely lower than what you guys actually receive. So all revenue projections, and when we provide you guys surplus deficits, we're looking at historical information and trends, and it's much closer to what you guys actually received versus what's been entered in Gateway, which is much lower. Now, there's not, like, we have other clients where they, like, we don't do the revenue projections in Gateway, we have it outside of it. It's not really that big of a deal. The most important thing is, you know, you get your maximum levy, you get your budgets approved. We show surplus deficits based off your financial plan and those revenues that we provide. But I just wanted to give you an idea because based off of my knowledge of the October 20th meeting, there was some concern as far as the budget being, you know, higher and cash spend downs and stuff like that. If you look just at what was entered in the Gateway, yes, that it looks like there's going to be a cash spend down, but that's because the revenues that were entered in there are substantially lower than what you guys historically received. So this first box here, I'm just showing you an example. So the 2024-1782 notice, which is the final form that the DLGF sends out, the miscellaneous revenues for that budget year, so for 24's budget year, it was entered in as 5.8 million. The actual miscellaneous revenues for 2024 were set a little over 7.7 million. so the projections on Gateway were under by 1.8 million. If you would use those 5.8 million, yeah, it's gonna look like your cash is gonna be spent down, when in reality, it was much higher than that. To pull that out even farther, on the 1782 notice, they have a projected ending cash balance for 2024 as well, which during that time, they projected it at almost 1.15 million. The actual ending cash balance in the general fund of 2024 was over 3.4 million. So that's a variance of 2.3 million that the DLGF, based off of the amounts that you're putting in there versus what was actually received. So that is a big difference when you're looking at Gateway forms and what it's spitting out versus, what is actual. I mean, it's very important. It's dependent on what you put in there for miscellaneous revenues. So historically, they've been much lower. 2025, again, what was put in there was 6.1 million through October 31st of this year. So we're not even through the last 2 months. It's already exceeded the revenue projections that were in there. And then I put a little note on the right side, not counting any other miscellaneous revenues, there's still going to be 818,000 additional revenue of income taxes that are going to be receipted in there. So once again, it's very conservative on the 1782 notice, but what we've provided you guys with your surplus deficits and projections is closer to the actual. And then 2026, I was just showing what's currently entered into Gateway versus what our projections are. And it's a 900 grand difference between the two. So once again, if you're just looking at Gateway and what's been entered in there, it's going to look like it's, budgeted spending is way above projected revenues. In reality and historically, it's been in a much better, outlook, so to speak. One other thing that I do want to point out too, the DLGF, and it's the note that I have under the 2024 section, the DLGF will assume that you spend 100% of your budget. They have to. There's no other way they can do it. So they assume that you're going to spend 100% of this year's budget and 100% of next year's budget. When in reality, most of the time you guys don't spend 100% of your budget. So that's another reason where you see this big discrepancy in the projected 2024 cash balance of what the 1782 note shows, what the DLGF provides versus what actually happened. Because in 2024, you also underspent your general fund, had budget remaining of $500,000 to $600,000. They will assume that you spend that. So when we provide the surplus deficit sheets, we show any of our assumptions as far as unused appropriations. We have a column in there that shows a 3-year historical unused projection. We try to stay under that. For the general fund, we assume 100% spent for that one. But there are other funds that spend way under what their budget is. Cambridge is one of them. And I'm going to be working with Julie on the 1782 notice. That fund was one that is the only fund right now that the budget was cut like 13 grand.
Yeah.
And it's because the DLGF assumes 100% spent. The budget's very high historically in Cambridge, and the expenditures are much lower. There's a couple years in 22 and 23 where the unused appropriations were north of 80%. But since the DLGF assumes all that's going to be spent, if you don't have enough cash, it'll cut it. So Julie and I are going to work together and see if we can get that restored. That would be number one. If it can't, there's no issue on doing an additional appropriation early next year. We'll have to wait till the annual report's submitted, but there's going to be enough cash in there. It's just simply the way that the forms work and the DLGF treats the unused appropriation. There's no issue in that fund. We can easily get it restored, but hopefully we get it restored through this 1782 notice process, so you guys don't have to go through the hassle of doing an additional. One more thing, and I'm sorry that I'm going so quick. If you guys have any questions, just stop me. One other concern, I believe based off of the October 20th adoption, was And on the outline, it's on the second page, it's number 6, is the 2026 adopted property tax levy versus certified property tax levy by the DLGF. We 100% intentionally have the adopted property tax levy higher than what the maximum levy is on the gateway forms. Now, within your guys' financial plan, we show the maximum amount, the certified amount, and that's what we use to calculate the revenue projections as well. So there's no concern there. There's I think what was adopted was 3.25 million. It's going to be closer to 3 million. We understand that. That's intentional. It's a standard practice that we do just to make sure we don't miss anything. We want to ensure that you guys get your maximum levy. So it's like I know that was mentioned and it was something that was concerning. There's no concerns there. What has been released with the 1782 notice matches up as far as the maximum levy with what we have in the financial plan as well. So no issues there. And then lastly, and I talked to Julie a little bit about this, we have to be on the same page. We need to do a better job of meeting. So I did put in here the last section as far as the 2027 budget process. We need a detailed timeline. I know there was a lot of confusion this year. There were some meetings that some council members wanted and some did not. Early on in the process, and we can put it together if you guys would like, as far as a detailed timeline. And I mean, when I say detailed, I can make it as detailed as you guys want. And everybody on the council and, Julie, myself, everybody agrees on it. Any deviations from that have to be approved by, said group, just to keep everybody on the same page. And the second item there, I think, is extremely important to mitigate any concerns, especially, last minute during an adoption. Julie and I have to be on the same page. So at least one meeting, maybe 2, maybe 3, we can go through, maybe 4, however many we need, to go through the budget, to go through the gateway forms and understand how the DLGF treats things versus what actually ends up, happening. And I feel that will alleviate a lot of concerns, and it'll improve the process moving forward. But that number 7 is extremely, extremely important.
So, to reiterate, 2026, the actual expected versus the projected that we had originally inserted or the state inserted, there's a difference of plus 900,000 on the revenue side.
Based off of what was entered in the gateway versus what we project as far as RFG for the county.
And then on the general fund cash balance, end of year 2024, there was a major $2.3 million plus side kind of.
Yeah, that was mainly for illustration purposes to show you how much it can be off depending on what you put into the gateway forms.
So, and then coming back to what we heard our last meeting, $360,000 kind of, which is not unusual. I mean, that's the reality, and it'd be helpful probably to look back through our previous 5 budgets and say how much it's not were we under, it's how much were we under, and I think we've been closing this gap. I know we've been working hard at it anyway. Sometimes it doesn't feel like we're making progress, but I think we're making progress there. That 360 number might be better than we've typically seen, and with the $900,000 surplus, what should we be thinking about that? I mean, is the 900? Oh, no, that's not just general. Is that general?
This sheet here is only general.
Okay.
What I would focus on, and I can send you detail as far as every revenue, like literally the financial plan and how we come up with our revenue projections. Like I said, we project them based off of historical information and move that stuff forward. And then it populates that surplus deficit sheet that is based off of our revenue projections. So as far as for 2026, I think it was after some minor changes, maybe around $170-some thousand surplus that were projected. That's based off of 100% of the budget spent. That does not factor in any lit supplemental. So any excess that the state might distribute out, we don't know if that's going to happen. So that could just be icing on the cake, so to speak, during next year. It was brought to my attention the last meeting that there may be some expenditures that could be moved into one of the opioid funds. We don't have that in there right now, so if that comes out, that EMA administrator, 38,000. So like that's in the budget right now. That could come out. So 170-some thousand surplus is on the conservative side. It may be even more than that, depending on what the county decides, if they're able to move some line items to opioid funds, with supplemental things like that. I would focus on that surplus deficit sheet as far as the revenue projections, as far as revenues versus budget for the general fund.
So that's, I mean, just to reiterate, that's good news, right? We are not running a deficit budget in the general as we previously showed, and we knew there was some cleanup work to do. We're actually running a surplus. And we do have some additional appropriation requests today that are about, and I want to get your advice on that.
You've taken a lot out of the commissioner budget here too, that I'm seeing that, you obviously didn't understand what those lines were, because they're state mandated, some of them.
Is that the 100K or whatever that came out, or?
Looks like 105,000 you took out.
105.
Which line item was that?
The state, section detention placement. You knocked that down to 3,000 instead of 30. And, well, the publications, which I'm already addressing. And then this 120,000 for the HSA that is in there, that's gone, that needs to be put back in there. So that's actually even more than over 100,000.
Again,
Like I mentioned, anything that we've taken out, I've got sourced up, like as far as
Yeah,
what
and
we were
the other
expecting. I'm not
thing
saying
too,
it's correct or
if you're gonna
anything.
do away with a position in EMA, shouldn't that go through the commissioner's office?
There wasn't a position there to begin with.
Yeah, there is,
There's been no pay for it.
because we didn't hire anybody. We were told by Gary that it was froze.
so the benefits and salary there would come off, if that's true.
First of all, this conversation here will be above and beyond tonight's discussion. So, we can table these,
Just as long as they're written down, I don't care, that's fine.
we got it all documented, we can discuss it. The only thing I want to point out here and interject, if it's okay, Jerry, with you. Based on the budget that was submitted, we're only showing 176K left over at the end of 2026. Based off the forecasted revenue and based off, expenses of 9.8.
As far as revenues exceeding expenditures.
It's a surplus.
A surplus, not the amount of cash.
A surplus, we're only running 176,000 surplus.
Correct.
So any changes within the 2026 budget, so as you're bringing up, Teresa, any changes that we go in and make, or any additional appropriations are going to reduce that 176. So that's where we are. So this is not, to me, it's not a rosy picture, and we're okay. We're in the black, Scott, but we're not the black by much. So whatever additional appropriations that go on above and beyond, from the budget that was submitted, we're gonna have to watch this like a hawk.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just all there is to it. Yeah, because I had a conversation today with this Sam Vanderveen with DLGF. I don't know if you've ever talked to him.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah. And, the one thing that I just want to bring up from an awareness standpoint is that when the county submits the budget and we submit the Form 4, and while yes, it calculates the tax levies, but we are at the max, period. So we could submit a budget for $12 million, even though we've only got $10 million coming in. And the DLGF would approve it, just provided we have enough money in the
checking account, if you will, enough money in reserves. Because the other thing with DLGF is the DLGF is just taking an 18-month snapshot. That's what they're gonna prove. They're not looking at sustainability. They're not looking at sustainability over the next 1, 3, 5, 10 year. They're just looking at July of 2024, or excuse me, 25 to 12/31 of 2026. So when we submit a budget on an annual basis, that really, to be honest with you, has really nothing to do with the tax rates, because we are already at the max levy, and the only thing that's going to change those taxes is the 4% growth quotient, which is based off the last 6-year non-farm payroll. So to me, going forward, as we go forward, we've got to really pay attention to where our expenses / revenues are month to month to month to month to month. And pay attention to this, our 30-day reserve balances of where we are. So,
And if I can just add one thing to that, to your point, there's a big difference obviously between like an operating deficit or like a one-time deficit, like a capital expenditure. Obviously, you never want to have an operating deficit. Say you hire a bunch more employees and all of a sudden there's a deficit of 200 grand and you're thinking, okay, well, we've got the cash. Well, that 200 grand is going to continue to decrease it versus like a one-time capital expenditure of 500 grand that you spend down with the understanding that the following year, operations-wise, you're fine. So there's a big difference there that you want to keep an eye on as far as an operating deficit versus something from one-time expenditure.
Jerry, would we, speaking of sustainability, Jim, agree with you on that? They're not trying to help us. They'd let us spend every single penny we have in our bank account.
Yep.
Doesn't matter to
Doesn't
them.
matter.
And so, on that front, could we get, you've got some updated numbers, it looks like, on revenues. Could we get a multi-year forecast here, kind of cash reserves, and it may be for our next work session, just to look at, hey, what are we, and I'd love to see an actual 24, 25 and a projected 26, 27, 28, if possible, cash holdings and by fund.
Yeah, I can provide that based off of our current financial plan. The only thing that'll get a little tricky, and it, not to bring up
SB1.
Yes, because there's some big changes there, and as you know, income tax is a big one, depending on what you guys do. If Senate Enrolled Act 1 stays the way it is, which we have to treat it the way it is currently, that muddies the waters in 2028. With that understanding, yes, we can provide that, which is what we are going to do. Anyway, like Jim and Patrick and Judy, we're meeting Thursday. We're going to go over the WIS study. That's one of the things that we will keep in mind. It is, any changes. Is there going to be, an operating deficit moving forward? So, sorry, I've been sick like the last week. I know Jim knows, we met last week, but and that's something that we have to provide to you guys when you guys are making that decision, so you don't run into an operating deficit.
Yeah.
So we will have that information. We're scheduled to come to the December 4th meeting to talk about the WIS, so we can,
Perfect.
combine that with revenue projections for future years to show you guys kind of what that looks like. Sorry.
And then, I don't know if it's Julie or you guys that do the overspent, underspent account report, where we've got accounts that are way overspent, accounts that are way underspent, so the council can have some visibility into.
are you talking about the monthly reports?
Yeah,
I
just
like that
that we
report
want to
they have.
see.
That's a
We
very
use
nice report.
doing that.
Okay.
Okay, and then, but keep in mind, in defense of Reedy, they have to be able to extract the data out of the auditor's office to be able to prepare that report.
Which, they did send us financials. We requested a fund report, or else I would have had that for you guys for this meeting. We will have it to you guys this week, because we just want to double check and make sure, but we can provide that,
So
which
the-
brings up a good point. We can work together, Julie, on any, overspent line items. because that's gonna be a quick turnaround. Any additionals also that you guys, I know there's some on the
There's
docket.
a lot, yeah.
I mean, you guys have to, I haven't, in the gateway system, there's additional appropriations in there also. You guys have to, advertise for that, and, you have to submit that stuff in there. So as far as advertising before, 10 days before the meeting and things like that, we're getting really close because it's towards the end of the year. So we want to make sure none of those deadlines sneak up on us, because I know that there's some other areas where some funds need to be cleaned up. So we'll get together on that and make sure we don't miss, anything there. But that's something else to take into account.
Can I shift the conversation for a second?
Just get us a fund report too.
Melissa has
Overspent,
the.
underspent, fund report,
Yeah,
and the multi-year projection.
Yes.
Is that, okay, cool,
Yeah.
thank you. Sorry, go ahead.
Talking about that. Talking about.
Julie,
This.
Jerry,
Mhm.
good idea, council members. We received a draft from Susan Beavers with regards to the salary ordinance.
Yes.
So,
Put it over.
okay, well, this is the question. You're the auditor,
And
we're the council.
you are.
The council is the one that has the statutory responsibility of approving the salary ordinance.
You do.
Correct. So, an issue is I opened up that Excel, it's an Excel file for starters, okay? And thinking I could go in and print it off. Well, I can't print it off because
Well, I have it printed.
the way it's formatted, did you get it in the PDF? Okay, well, I didn't get a PDF, I got an Excel spreadsheet. I guess my question is this, is that you guys are a municipal advisor, Susan Beavers, who drafted the salary ordinance. How do we go over and review that salary ordinance in order for us to approve the first reading on December the 4th, so that we can go in and audit that salary ordinance to make sure the thing is accurate?
Yep.
Nothing against you, Julie, but what I'm asking is, the sound of eyes, what's the process for that? Because I think a council member ought to be involved, Reading Financial ought to be involved, obviously the auditor needs to be involved, right? To where we go and review that document, because it's a lengthy document, and it's gonna take quite a bit of time to go through it, to check the accuracy of it.
Definitely several pages.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, it's an enormous amount of
30-some
work.
pages.
Yeah, I looked at it today and I thought, here we are, December 4th is right around the corner, and how in the world do we go through and audit the document? Or do we just do a Nancy Pelosi and approve it, and we'll have to approve it and see what's in it after we approve it? I don't think that would be the best.
How's that been working for you?
Huh?
How's that been working for you?
That's all bringing it up, everybody in the
Jim,
council.
it's a pretty exhaustive document. Julie, I don't know if you have the bandwidth to do that right now, or if it makes sense for Jerry to
Jerry,
do
yeah.
that.
I got weekends. I live here.
We'd be more than happy
Okay.
to look over it, and I think it would be good, as long as you're available, for all, like, a small group,
Yeah.
to sit down, so that we're all on the same page, and, we can go over, ask any questions. I'd be more than happy to do that and schedule something.
Bring it.
We're gonna have
Did you
to,
get a copy of it?
I don't have a copy, so
I'll send
you
you
have to
one.
send me one, and then we'll just have to get something on the books.
Can you guys line up? Would you be willing to kind of coordinate that?
Yeah, that's fine. I can do that.
Let's get Teresa or a commissioner in there too, just to try another.
So,
Why?
Well.
this is council, I want council.
So Teresa, you want to be there?
There.
Teresa,
Council, Reading Financial, and the auditor is who needs to be doing this.
commissioners are personnel,
So-
but, okay.
So, and so we're in control of all wages for the county. This is the salary ordinance. Yeah, so if we could kind of coordinate that and get with Susan, because Susan probably ought to be at that meeting, I would think, as well, shouldn't she?
100%.
Yeah.
So Julie, when you send that, if you send it to me,
Yeah.
and then I'll use that, that'll prompt me to reach out. Who all on the group, like Julie and Susan, but
Jim
Jim,
and Jim, maybe?
is that what we want? Because I will send out,
Might as well be.
I'll coordinate
Feels like
with whatever
something.
group you guys decide on a meeting. Because obviously with,
And
holidays and this,
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Julie, I don't know if you'd be open to this, rather than the county having to pay you and Susan drive time up and drive time back, because we get billed for drive time, we could meet at your office in Seymour, rather than us getting billed to save a little bit of money.
Do it online. We can.
No, we can drive down. I mean,
Charge mileage.
well, you can charge mileage, I won't charge mileage.
I don't charge
I
mileage.
don't either, so,
I haven't
You
ever.
yeah. So,
That sounds good to you.
yeah, so, just so, because I was citizen,
Up in Seymour, so
you guys can both see where you need to go.
she's came to our office.
Right,
before, so-
right. So why don't we take, if it's okay, if you guys don't have any objection.
Yeah, that's great.
Who's all gonna be there?
Well, you can come too if you want, anybody's more
Well,
than
that was somebody from the compensation committee.
Well, Jim, are you?
You are one,
Yeah.
but one of the other ones would probably be a good one to be there, Patrick.
You guys wanna go?
No,
Yeah.
I'm going.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, the bottom line, we just need people that are gonna be there that are competent with the data, that understand the data, that knows what's in it, okay? Because what we don't need to do is have somebody that's not familiar with the data and then have to spend the majority of time trying to explain what's in that document.
Yeah. I have one more question, if that's, yeah, I think we should do that, yeah. If we're done with that. Jerry, we've got a couple of these requests, later in the budget, or later in the agenda. You know, I think as a, you know, to Jim's point, we've got a little bit of a structural surplus, meaning our revenues are exceeding our expenses for 26. We're
Not by
expecting
much.
that, not by much. We've got a decent cash reserve at this point, but there are downward pressures ahead, especially with SB1. You know, should the council mindset be one of trying to use outside revenues where possible, such as the opioid funds, to offset the burden on the general fund kind of intensely, or kind of help us?
Just for 1 year, it would only be 1
Yeah,
year.
for 1 year, there's kind of these one-use funds, like, but how aggressive should we be there based on what you're seeing here?
I would always recommend, if you are able to use funds or cash or whatever you want to say, from funds that are very restricted in what they can be spent on, but you have things that can be spent out of there, I would definitely spend them out of those funds versus the general fund, because the general fund can be spent on anything. So anytime you can use those funds versus the general fund, 100% I'd recommend doing that.
I like you even more, Jerry.
Opioid funds is one of those. Different fund, Teresa, that we were looking at.
What's
I
that?
think it was just the opioid fund that we were doing that.
The
with.
two,
Yes.
the restricted and unrestricted,
Yeah.
that'd be the biggest
Yeah.
ones.
I mean, the only drawback is,
You
Kind
are
of
gonna stay
one-time
for the remainder of
funds.
this meeting, right?
If I'm needed.
After listening to their questions, I'm gonna probably need your backup.
Okay, that's fine, I can stay, yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's fine.
yeah, so anyway, there's kind of an opportunity cost with those funds. I think they're intended to expand services for, you know, folks that need it. And so we're using those funds for something, and so there is a consideration there, but it does sound like.
Obviously, I would never recommend that if you can't legally do it, but if you
Right.
can, 100% spend it out of those funds that are more restrictive in nature.
Next.
Any other questions? Nope. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
And if he's gonna stick around, you wanna,
Stick around.
Teresa, well, no, Teresa is wanting him to stay, should we bump
No,
her
that's
up?
fine.
Are you sure? Okay, all right.
He's been sick.
I know, I feel bad.
That's the only reason I was gonna get out of here if you guys didn't need me, but I will stay 100%.
They're just gonna ask me questions that I don't have answers to, I'm sure. So,
So you want support from him?
I do want support from him.
It
I
seems
like
like
it.
you're gonna be okay, I don't know.
Let's
Yeah.
move fast, then they get to Teresa.
Are we, is it my turn?
Next item is Parks and Rec, that
Oh,
shouldn't
okay.
take long, correct? We discussed that plenty enough.
Susan was gonna draft an ordinance.
It's actually in your folder.
Which one?
Should be,
It's not 13.
oh crap. did I
That's
not
the
get
bond,
No.
job classification.
It's in there, you'll have to read them. I don't remember which one that's got attached to it.
IDM grant.
Thought you had them in order.
I did, I forgot about that one.
Oh, so it's in here, but not in order.
It's on one of those.
It's on one of those?
Yeah.
Transfer.
If you look,
Is Susan on with us? or-
Yeah.
Sure, it's in here.
Oh, she
can you tell me what number that was that you put, Parks and Rec stuff where they're gonna be redoing? Yeah, for their,
My recollection is that you had not advertised that yet.
for the tower? That's all been.
Creation of new funds.
Appropriation and reimbursement.
So it's gonna be taken on December 4th possibly then? Cover it then? Is that what you're suggesting, Susan?
Right. So the appropriation, I don't think we can get advertised before November, or I'm sorry, December 4th.
Okay, I move we
If
table
we're
it.
talking about creating a non-reverting fund, we can do that.
That's already done.
Yeah, I dealt with that, and it didn't need to be,
We've already got the non-reverting fund
yeah,
done.
we've already. So I move we table this and advertise for the December 4th meeting, which we can make decisions in. It looks like that's the same one.
So to clarify what we have the fund established, the non-reverting fund established. The money, the current money being collected is being put into that fund.
It is
So
now.
The only thing left to do is reimburse for the money that had not been accounted for
That is correct.
into that
The
fund.
money that was put into the general fund that should have went into the non-reserve fund.
And that's a
In the
new
amount,
appropriation or a transfer?
In the amount of $30,333.34.
Yeah, that's a new appropriation, right? Not a transfer.
It's transferred.
Well, it's a transfer.
It's a transfer.
We're gonna advertise
Yeah.
a transfer. I'll amend my motion.
Your motion is.
It's an appropriation.
Okay, I'll believe you. It's an appropriation, so I'll re-amend it.
State it again.
Motion to table, advertise an appropriation for December 4th meeting or whatever appropriate notice needs to happen per Julie and Susan.
Second, anyone?
Second.
Seconded? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Darren?
Yes.
Judy?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Gary?
Yes.
Patrick?
Yes.
Joel?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. President, I got a thing to add. At our last special session meeting, I handed each and every one of you a copy of a email that I'd received from the Indiana State Board of Accounts. In that email, it stated specifically that the commissioners were to create an ordinance specifically for this non-reverting fund that you created, that we're going to appropriate this money out of the general fund into. Teresa, you sent me an email that you had found some meeting minutes
Meeting minutes and.
for the commissioners, okay, and all of our meeting minutes. You all can do whatever you want, but I would highly recommend that the commissioners pass an ordinance, okay, that speaks specifically to how this money is to be spent, period, okay? We should not loosey-goosey go by meeting minutes. That's not the correct way to do it. The right way to do it is to create an ordinance, have the commissioners pass it, and then get it recorded, and then that way, 10 years from now, we hopefully won't have any issues with this. Because that's really what we're trying to solve for in the future.
Noted.
Thank you.
Good, thank you, Jim. Anything else on Parks and Rec? Next item, new business. Teresa, dog tax appeal ordinance and current funds.
Well, should we jump down to the additional appropriation section so that he's sniffling over here? And
Yes.
making me feel bad.
I'm sorry.
Can we move around? Is that allowed?
I'm good.
I think that's a good idea.
Fine, let's do it.
Okay. Well, I've presented this twice now. The first meeting last month, I gave you all the sheets and I was at your special session and detailed your things. So I guess I'm at your mercy and your questions at this
There's
point.
nothing to discuss.
No, there's nothing.
Do you have an ordinance prepared to where we can read it and pass it?
It's right there.
Gary, have you got an ordinance?
They weren't in order till we sorted through them looking for the last one.
It says Council Bill number 16.
I know.
There it is.
Does that include everything that's on there? Nice job, by the way.
This section,
17.
That might be it right here. Let me see.
And this is all for 2025, correct?
Solid waste.
correct.
Yeah, that's it.
My question on this too is the monies that I asked to be transferred from 24 to 20, that were supposed to be transferred to 25 that's in 24. Do you want me to do one of those encumbrance sheets for that?
Job
Okay.
classification.
Yeah, that way we have some kind of a,
There we go. No,
This is a trick.
this is an identity grant.
Did you put it in here? You sure, Julie?
It's not that one. budget funds. Here we go.
Look to see what
Transfer
says
certain
number
budget funds. What's that?
16.
That's 17.
There should be a number 16 in there. It's a one-page document.
16 is a one-page.
Oh, here it is, but it didn't look like, it's got special solid waste on top of it.
It's Council Bill 16.
Solid waste, general fund, so you got it all in one.
Yeah,
Okay,
see it?
okay.
That's what Susan usually does. All right. We'll throw you in the mix there, Phil.
Look live, Phil, we're coming in.
Okay, go ahead. Go
He's got
ahead.
his own up there too to be done.
So what?
He's got 2 of his own that needs to be signed.
Correct.
I think we got something from you last meeting on those. Are you ready for a motion?
So.
You wanna read it?
Yeah, I'll read it. Additional appropriation ordinance 2025, number 11-17-002, Council Bill number 16. Where it has been determined that it is not necessary to appropriate more money than was appropriated in the annual budget. Now therefore, Section 1 be it resolved by the County Council of Brown County, Indiana, that the expenses of the taxing unit, the following additional sums of money are hereby appropriated out of the funds named and for the purposes specified subject to laws governing the same. First one, solid waste management, Fund 8210, line number 30,000, other services and charges, $9,239. That's the total for 8210. General Fund 1,000, line number 20,000, supplies $26,000, line 30,000, other services and charges $113,500. Total for General Fund 1,000 is $139,500. Cumulative Capital Development Fund 1138, line number 30,000, other services and charges $9,477. Total for 1138 is $9,477.
She has them all added together.
Jerry, look all right to
It's
you?
actually-
I mean, if this 148,976 is the total of all these, obviously that won't just come from the general fund, only the ones. Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
Yes.
just,
There's a couple in there from a different fund,
yeah,
so,
Phil has his own funds,
yeah.
so.
So that's a hit on the cash balance on the general
848.
fund. Teresa, am I right? There's nothing you can do to, I mean, this is like.
I
these bills
moved
are
everything
due.
around
You
and,
to move back.
I mean, I know that I'm not gonna use all of these dollars, but I can't give you numbers as to
Yeah,
what.
go on the record of what you're not gonna do with, if you have like extra funds. There was one that you said if the gas doesn't go over, you could return those, right?
Yes, if the fuel money, I'm confident is not gonna be 26,000, because I'm getting ready to bill the highway department for 47. So that's gonna knock that down. And the, what was the other one? Insurance liability, I'm still working it.
Like that.
I will explain more of that.
And anything that's left, you're not gonna spend it on something else, you're gonna.
No, because all of these lines are the same. If I wanted to move the cash around from that 26,000 for oil, I'd have to have your permission because it's a different account line.
All right, would you take a motion?
Yes.
I move we pass additional appropriation ordinance 2025-11-17-002, council bills number 16.
Take a second, anyone?
Second.
Made and seconded. Any discussion? Take a vote.
Darren,
Yes.
Judy,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Gary,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Joel,
Yes.
Jim.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm good now, Jerry.
Two readings, that's an ordinance.
2 readings, yeah.
Title only and the whole thing.
Title only is fine, just total amounts.
Okay. Total amounts. Additional, I'll get the amounts. All right, additional appropriation ordinance 2025, number 11-17-002, Council Bill number 16, solid waste, Fund 8210, total is 9239. General Fund 1,000, total is 139,500. Cumulative Capital Development Fund 1138, the total is 9477 for a
No, I think this is, you got it. I think they're split up, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Is that sufficient, Susan?
Yep, you need a motion and a second and a vote.
Do we need a motion to suspend rules first?
Yes.
Okay, I make a motion to suspend rules requiring a second meeting where we had a second reading after a unanimous vote.
Second.
All in favor?
Roll call.
Darren?
Yes.
Judy?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Gary?
Yes.
Patrick?
Yes.
Joel?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes. Okay, have a second, motion?
Second.
Wait a minute, did you?
Didn't get it
Who made
first.
the
Suspended.
motion?
So we suspended, so we don't have to make the second motion? Okay,
Well, we still have to do a second reading, but we don't require a second meeting to do that.
okay.
Now you have to approve the second reading
So now we need the motion
to approve it.
to approve it.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Just vote. Go ahead.
Hang on just a
You
second.
go, let's do it.
Darren?
Darren?
Aye.
Judy?
Yes.
Scott?
Aye.
Gary?
Yes.
Patrick?
Yes.
Joel?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes. See you, Jerry.
Thanks, Jerry.
Thank you, guys.
Be careful.
So you're covered, Phil, you all right?
Phil, you good? That's
You're good on this, Phil, right? Yeah, Phil's done. See you, Phil.
Yeah.
Okay.
No more questions? No.
No, you're good.
No. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thank you.
You bet.
Hey, Phil.
You couldn't give me a pizza, could you? Solid waste pizza? Tastes like cardboard. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Phil.
Can you sign Phil's, please?
Oh, we're going to do this.
Okay, so you want to keep going? Dog tax, et cetera?
Oh, yeah, okay. Are we,
Gary,
Do you
do we
wanna-
need to wait for your council person to come back?
Yeah,
Let's go.
it's coming. Do you want to, Gary, while we're in additional appropriation mode, do you want to get this EMA kind of, get the procedure down, the suspend the rules, or do you want to just,
That's fine.
let's stay
Council
focused?
Bill 17, let's do that.
Yeah.
All right. Here it is. Reads the resolution. Okay, there's resolution number 2025-11-17-003, Council Bill number 17. A resolution authorizing the auditor to transfer certain Brown County budget funds into certain budget categories of Brown County, Indiana. Whereas Brown County, Indiana has budgeted a certain amount of funds that are used for general emergency management purposes of Brown County, and whereas the certain funds described in Exhibit A, which is attached here to and incorporated herein, are in need of various transfers in order to continue their intended purpose and operations. And whereas the County Council of Brown County, Indiana now desires to authorize the auditor to transfer said funds into said accounts, all as further described in Exhibit A. Now it be resolved by the Council of Brown County, Indiana, Section 1, the County Council hereby authorizes the auditor to make all transfers as described in Exhibit A and execute them in a timely manner. Section 2, this resolution shall be effective and in full force from and after its passage, all as by law provided. Exhibit A is County Council Fund Movement Request. Meeting date is today. County Office Emergency Management amount requested $476.16 from Fund 9108 Duke Emergency Services Grant. Two funds, 9131 EMA Incident Command, $20.02. Fund 8071 EMA Security TF, $2.78. Fund number 8075 Water Rescue, $453.36. Reason for request, previous EMA accounts left in the red, intend to pay them down to clear them off the books.
Susan, we've got I don't know if you've seen a copy of this. It's a resolution to do this.
She made it.
Yep, I
Oh, you made
prepared
it.
that.
Okay, good. So we should be in good shape there. So So we just need a motion. Do we need to read this one twice and suspend the rules?
It's a resolution, it's just one reading.
Okay. If you're ready for a motion.
Take a motion.
Move we pass resolution number 2025-11-17-03, council bill number 17.
Second.
Made and seconded. Sandy?
Yes.
Darren, we just made a motion to pass the EMA
Resolution.
grant resolution with one reading.
Judy second.
Darren,
Yes.
Point of order, Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
How can a member that didn't hear anything vote on it?
Yeah, I guess, Susan, does he have to hear the reading of that ordinance to vote on it? Darren just stepped back in.
He can abstain from this one.
Okay,
Okay.
good point. Thank you.
Thank you.
okay, so you abstained, Darren.
Yes.
Okay, Judy,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Gary,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Joel,
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Teresa's smiling. Either we're not doing something right or we're doing something really right. I can't tell which it
I'm
is.
Mary
serious, I'm
works.
ready for it.
Yeah, Mary. Let's see,
Are you ready
Mary's.
for dog tax repeal? Okay.
Oh, we gotta do this. I forgot about that.
Are we ready?
Yeah, let's repeal it.
Don't you have to do this vote again or
Yeah,
something?
Gary's looking for the
Not on that one,
ordinance.
that's resolution.
Okay, oh, so it's my turn again?
It is your turn again.
Resolution's
It's
a
an
one-shot deal.
It's an ordinance. It says ordinance. Do we have a?
Yeah, the ordinance, Gary?
Hers is
Is
an
that
ordinance,
okay?
but the one you just did.
I'm talking about the dogs tax.
Yeah.
That's an ordinance. We're gonna repeal.
It is not, I did not see it in there.
Susan, do we have a repeal ordinance for that dog
I
tax?
swear it should be in there.
Yes, it was sent to Julie.
And it was in that, in
Okay,
that
we'll-
folder,
we'll
'cause
find
I
it.
put a number on it.
That's repairs and maintenance.
Good lord. I was sitting there.
Okay, so while you're doing that, the
Yeah.
second question on that was the funds currently in the dollars in that fund. I actually have some questions myself on it. The fines and fees in that, Julie? In the dog tax money? We paid in June, we paid 648. What are those? We pay those every year. Is that because of the ordinance that's currently in place? So if the ordinance goes away, that
That
goes
should be
away.
gone.
Okay, so that would be, so there wouldn't be any spending out of that fund. See what I'm saying? I wanted to make sure that if we did away with the ordinance, we weren't gonna get stuck with a bill that had to go someplace else, and she just answered that question.
I'm not finding the dog tax.
I'll go find it.
Yeah, or we can push it if you want.
Can you, Susan, can you tell me which thing it is? Which county bill?
We still
Yeah, it's
got
Council
to,
Bill 15.
15?
You can go ahead and do something
Okay.
else. I'll be back in just a second.
All right, what else you got, Teresa? Let's maybe we'll.
okay, so that was the current funds. Currently, there is $11,000 in there, but you have not paid, we have to do Purdue Extension and things and get that cleared out. So that's gonna be something that, it's
Oh,
not
you
my
lost me,
fund,
sorry.
not a
You
commissioner's
lost me,
fund.
Teresa. Sorry, where are you?
I'm in the dog tax
You're still
money
in dog
right
tax.
now.
Gotcha.
So how much
Okay.
is in the dog tax?
There's $11,667 in there currently. I do not know what the auditor's office has paid yet as far as splitting out for Purdue Extension and the rest of the money for Humane Society. So that is that's not a me thing, I'm just trying to get rid of the ordinance.
So additionally, we'll need to do a transfer
Yes,
once we figure out where we
or
are.
pay it out. It'd just be
Okay.
paying it out.
Can we skip to that opioid thing?
Yeah.
I think
Yes,
we're
we
ready
can,
for
that's
that.
next.
So it is, yeah.
So I presented the case in your work session. What questions do you have? I think Jerry spoke up and said the same thing. If you have the funds to use to help relieve your general fund. It would
Well-
help relieve the sheriff's budget.
I was gonna say, because
For-
the sheriff is currently paying for Melissa, right?
Correct.
So why not go ahead and use those funds to pay her until we don't have those funds anymore?
Right, and if you use the funds, you can handle paying all of her salary and benefit for 26. Now, the money that you get in 26 for 27 spending, it's not gonna be that much, it's probably gonna be more like $11,000, but you could still
Supplement it.
supplement it so that it's not hitting the sheriff's fund as bad, but it would relieve him this year. Or 26 is this year in my brain,
Right. And it has to be used for opioid,
yes,
and she qualifies from my understanding in the past.
yes.
And the other portion would be for the Centerstone state minimum.
The other portion is in the commissioner's budget, we have, Centerstone that we have to pay. So it would relieve what you would be giving the commissioners out of the general fund for 26. And again, you have the money in there for 26, but you wouldn't have that same amount for 27 or so on. These are,
We don't have to make a decision on that this evening.
that's up to you. I'm just telling you, this is an option that you
I
have.
understand that, but I think that this opioid money's conversation, perhaps we can table that until we have the meeting with Susan Beavers and we discuss.
Well, and remember that those are commissioner funds too, so the spending in them, right? There's commissioner funds.
Your point is,
I'm just saying it out loud, I don't know.
okay, I don't know what that has to do with anything.
I don't either.
It's
I'm-
So you're
helpful, it's
just
helpful
saying-
information.
I'm just learning all this too, so that's,
Correct, before we arbitrarily
Yeah.
just.
Is that okay with you?
Yeah, let's.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
this again is just giving you the information, this
Correct,
is
no, and I
just another
appreciate that,
option.
right, but let's table that, we don't need to make a decision on that yet.
Okay,
Okay.
moving on to blanket bonds,
We got that ordinance ready?
Yeah, right here, yep.
So
Number
we've already
13.
addressed that. There's no
Number
reason to-
13, right, go ahead.
Yeah, can we just
We'll
read that?
ordinance number 2025-11-17-001, Council Bill number 13. Ordinance for establishing a blanket surety bond. Whereas IC 5-4-1-5.1 requires the establishment of a surety bond for the faithful performance of the duties of all employees, commission members, and persons acting on behalf of Brown County. And whereas the Brown County Council is determined to have individual surety bonds for the following Brown County officials: auditor, treasurer, sheriff, clerk, and other elected or appointed officials required or recommended to have an individual surety bond by either the Indiana Code or the Indiana State Board of Accounts. And whereas IC 5-4-1-18B allows Brown County to establish a blanket surety bond to cover such faithful performance and include aggregate coverage sufficient to cover all officers, employees, or persons acting on behalf of Brown County. And whereas the Brown County Council believes it is in the best interest of Brown County to establish a blanket surety bond to cover all officers, employees, or persons who are not covered under an individual surety bond. Now therefore be it ordered by the County Council of Brown County, Indiana as follows. Section 1. Brown County Council authorizes the Brown County Commissioners to establish a blanket bond to cover the faithful performance of all appropriate officials, employees, commission members, and persons acting on behalf of Brown County. Section 2, the surety bond amounts will be in the amount established by IC 5-4-1-18 or amounts higher as recommended by the State Board of Accounts and authorized by the Brown County Council. Section 3, the Brown County Council may establish surety bond amounts higher than the state minimums if they determine it is in the best interest of Brown County. Section 4, all prior ordinances or parts thereof inconsistent with any provision of this ordinance are hereby repealed. Section 5, this resolution shall be effective and in full force from and after its passage, all as provided by law adopted by the council this 17th day of November 2025.
Question for Susan. Aside from the kind of cleaning this up and being a little bit more comprehensive in the way we administer those, because it's challenging to track bonds per individual. I think that's part of what we're trying to do here. Maybe save some money, maybe not.
Well, let me give you an example
Yeah.
on that note. So currently what you're spending this is your overkill, okay? Your $1.3 million is what you have in bond right now. What you should have in this blanket is 220,000. It's over $1 million overkill in the bonds.
Well, and that was kind of my question actually for Susan is, and it's my concern too, is are we reducing coverage? And if we are, is that number the state minimum, or, is there a number because there's a lot seemingly happening right now. It's a very litigious world, unfortunately. And so we don't
I can tell you
want
in
to
30 years,
undercover.
you've never made a claim against a bond.
Okay,
No.
but to just ask the question, Susan,
So-
are we, any advice there for us? We're reducing our coverage, it sounds like, down to what, Teresa?
It's a blanket bond, so it's $220,000.
For all employees?
Mhm.
Okay, Susan, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I certainly think that if you're at $1 million of essentially inappropriate use of dollars, you're a little over covered there. And especially if you've never made a claim on these bonds, I don't see why your insurance representative would tell you to do more than the blanket bond.
Yeah, if an employee covered by the bond is only handling, seeing the transfer of $20,000 a year, there's no sense.
There's not
giving
even
them a
that.
bond
It's
for
so much lower than that
$500,000.
even.
So this is just taking the amounts down to an appropriate level instead of.
And don't forget, you still have your major
Insurance.
players, according to the state, of what has to be covered separately.
So
So like auditor's by herself,
Okay, that's
clerk
what
is
I'm
by
concerned
herself,
about.
sheriff is
Right.
by herself, and treasurer is by
Okay,
herself.
thank you. We're not eliminating those.
No.
Because they're handling millions of
No,
dollars, not.
these
Yeah,
44
right. No,
people
this
that
is
are on
ridiculous.
this 220 are the,
That answers
I
my
would-
question.
okay,
Thank
good,
you.
I'll shut up.
Okay,
I'm ready for a motion, or I'll make one if you're ready.
take a motion.
Move we approve Council Bill number 13.
Second.
You seconded it?
Yeah.
All right, Sandy?
Darren?
Yes.
Judy?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Gary?
Yes.
Patrick?
Yes.
Joel?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Once again, this is 2 readings because it's an ordinance, but you can do the second reading by title only.
Motion to suspend the rules after unanimous vote to approve the ordinance on second reading in the same meeting.
Second.
Sandy?
Okay, hang on. I'm not sped right in person. Darren?
Yes.
Judy?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Gary?
Yes.
Patrick?
Yes.
Joel?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Okay. Ordinance number 2025-11-17-001, Council Bill number 13, ordinance for establishing blanket surety bond.
Is there a motion?
Motion, please.
Move to approve Council Bill number 13.
Second.
Okay, Darren?
Yes.
Judy?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Gary?
Yes.
Patrick?
Yes.
Joel?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Okay, you want to go for dog tax, back to dog tax, 15? Or we losing? I think I did. You say it's 006, you think, Julie?
Yes,
think
should
it's-
be.
Okay, next ordinance is number 2025-11-17-006, Council Bill number 15, an ordinance repealing an ordinance establishing county option dog tax. Whereas Brown County has previously passed an ordinance, which ordinance is known as Ordinance 11-20-06-01, and was passed on November 20th, 2006. And whereas the Brown County Council now wishes to repeal such ordinance, now be it ordained by the Brown County Council, Section 1, Ordinance 11-20-06-01 is hereinafter repealed, effective immediately. Section 2, the repeal of said ordinance shall be communicated with the Brown County Humane Society. Section 3, all prior ordinances or parts thereof inconsistent with any provision of this ordinance are hereby repealed. Section 4, this ordinance shall be in full force and effect from and after its passage and publication, all as by law provided. Adopted this 17th day of November, 2025. Take a motion.
Was that number 15?
Yes, sir.
Motion to approve 15.
Second.
Council Bill.
Darren,
Yes.
Judy,
Yes,
Scott,
Yes.
Gary,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Joel,
Yes.
Jim.
Yes.
Excuse us here.
Okay, Darren, you want to suspend?
Make a motion to suspend the rules requiring a second reading at a separate meeting after unanimous adoption.
Second. Second.
Darren,
Yes.
Judy,
yes,
Scott,
Yes.
Gary,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Joel,
Yes.
Jim.
Yes.
Okay. Second reading of the ordinance.
By title only.
Title only. Ordinance number 2025-11-17-006, Council Bill number 15, an ordinance repealing an ordinance establishing county option dog tax. Take a motion.
Motion to approve Council Bill 15 as written. Rick?
Second, anyone?
Second.
I'm sorry, who's second? Scott? Okay. Jim,
Yes.
Joel,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Gary,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Judy,
yes.
Darren.
Yes.
Thank you. I think I'm done, right? That's all my things.
So,
Hi, Teresa.
Have a good evening. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, next item on the agenda is council meeting schedule for next year.
Aren't we, did we miss something?
No, we didn't. It's on the agenda in that order, and I'm supposed to do that. I have been
I'm
threatened.
sorry.
No, you're fair game, but whatever.
Yeah, you're right.
Are we just doing the same thing? First Thursday of the month?
Yeah, but we're
special
gonna make
session?
every meeting, including our work sessions, votable, just in case something comes up, we're available to do it and don't have to scramble.
Okay, fine.
That's
Does
it.
that mean you
Okay?
want, does that
We don't
mean
need
you
to vote.
want minutes for
Pardon?
those meetings also?
you have to sign it.
We have to sign it? Yes, I see.
Minutes, we got YouTube videos.
So you don't want minutes for
We have
those 4 hour?
YouTube videos, man.
Okay,
So do we vote on that? Accept these?
Well, you have to accept it,
Sure.
so you have to
First
agree with
season,
it.
are we required to take minutes of our
On a county meeting, you
work
are.
session meetings?
Because it's a vote, do we have to take minutes on it?
Yes. It's a voting meeting.
Susan's still here?
She may have left already.
And Julie is correct.
Okay, minutes. We approve this schedule of meetings for next year.
Okay, so it's the first Thursday of the month for the special session, third Monday of the month for regular meeting.
Unless a holiday or something.
Right. And we're gonna be able to vote.
Yes,
Great, somebody make a motion.
Jim can make a motion.
Joel, you haven't made anything tonight.
Okay. Joel moves. Who's second?
Oh, good. Oh, good.
All right,
okay, Darren,
Yes.
Judy,
Yes,
Scott,
Yes.
Gary,
yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Joel,
Yes.
Jim.
Yes.
Okay, next item is Council Bill number 14, which is ordinance number 2025-11-17-000. An ordinance adopting County of Brown, Indiana job classification system. Whereas the County of Brown, Indiana is an equal opportunity employer, and whereas it is the intent of Brown County, Indiana to comply with applicable federal and state of Indiana employment laws and regulations, and whereas Indiana Code 36-2-5-3, Section 3A establishes that the county fiscal body shall fix the compensation of officers, deputies, and other employees whose compensation is payable from the county general fund, county highway fund, county health fund, county park and recreation fund, aviation fund, or any other fund from which the county auditor issues warrants for compensation. This includes the power to, 1, fix the number of officers, deputies, and other employees, 2, describe and classify positions and services, 3, adopt schedules of compensation, and 4, hire or contract with persons to assist in the development of compensation. And whereas Brown County contracted with a professional human resources consulting firm to assist the council describe and classify county positions, develop compensation schedules, and conduct Fair Labor Standards Act reviews. And whereas the council desires to use the job descriptions to classify positions and services, develop new compensation schedules, and to verify and document compliance with various government regulations, including but not limited to the Fair Labor Standards Act, Family and Medical Leave Act, and the American with Disabilities Act. And now therefore it be ordained by the County Council of Brown County, Indiana as follows. Section 1, the factor evaluation system, FES, of job classification is hereby adopted, including the job category designation and classification level of each position. Section 2, all prior ordinances or parts thereof inconsistent with any provision of this ordinance are hereby repealed. Section 3, this resolution shall be effective in full force from and after its passage, all as provided by law. Adopted by the council this 17th day of November. Take a motion.
I'm going to motion that we table this subject until further notice.
Any discussion?
Second, just for discussion purposes.
I read all that so we can table it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Just so we can discuss, I mean,
Any discussion? It's been motion made and seconded. Any discussion?
So we want to discuss this at our fourth meeting?
Until we have our December 4th meeting
Okay,
and see what the outcome of that meeting is.
Okay.
And then once we have a clearer vision of where we're headed, we can set on top of this. And then once you all make a decision, then we can come back and pass that.
okay, I can live with that.
Yeah. I think we got the cart before the horse. right
Motion made and seconded. Sandy, you want to go?
Darren,
Yes.
Judy,
Yeah.
Scott,
yes.
Gary,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Joel,
Yes.
Jim.
now? Yes.
Okay, I don't have to read it again. Good.
All right. Hey, we're almost done.
Almost.
Yay.
All right. Next item is Circuit Court Mary Wirtz. Request $6,000 for psychiatric service for the council. 1,000.3299.0232 from County General 1,000.
I think she was already put into that one you've already,
Sounds familiar.
yeah. I think she already was added to the one that you've
Okay.
already done, so you're good
Okay.
with that, with her.
Did I hear you correctly? This is psychiatric services for council members?
Yeah, that's what I said.
That sounds cheap to me. That's $26,000. Good work.
Might not be enough in the line.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I
So we put 50 grand in
use
this.
that, yeah. Kevin, you said that out loud.
Next item, Prosecutor Ted Adams requests $9,050 out of Fund 8897 for bonuses for his staff.
I just reached out to Ted to see if he was gonna make it. He's in his office, it sounds like, but requested that we maybe table this. I know there's a couple questions that
Yes.
we can ask, maybe reach out to Ted.
It's too vague.
Yeah, and I'm trying to recall what it
have
was
more
from.
details on that in the
Could you
office.
email that to
I
us?
can.
Is this a change from anything else you sent us before? Because we some of that information
Yeah.
previously. Okay, but Ted's good with tabling
He
it?
wants to table it, he can come to our
All
December
right,
4th
fine,
meeting.
table
It is not a change. It's the
All
same.
right,
It's the
motion
same.
made,
Yeah,
table.
you've already got it.
Anybody second? Seconded?
Second?
Go ahead.
Okay, Darren,
Yes.
Judy,
Yes,
Scott,
Yes, to table it.
Gary,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Joel,
Yes.
Jim.
Yes.
Scott motion, Darren seconded.
All right. I think that's all we've got, unless you.
Motion to adjourn.
Anything else?
Wow, that was fun.
Kevin, I see you back there. I assume you're not just here for your health, like Gary is, but you need something or?
Nope, just care for
Okay.
my health. I had absolutely nothing else to do this
That's
evening.
right.
Good
Oh,
Lord.
God.
Wow, that's scary.
Which is a lie, but
Yeah.
Okay, Jim made a motion, anyone second it?
Do we need?
Oh.
No, okay.
And just as a point of note, we are going to be having the board members submit, and Dwayne has submitted for the alcohol board again, so that's good. Appreciate that very much.
what's your
Doing a good job,
what's your schedule for that, Gary?
preferably by the end of the year.
Yeah, it's already, it's,
Point to the end of the year, or you're going to?
And what
We'd like-
positions
they're
are open?
advertised now.
Yeah, we're advertising now.
What positions are open?
There
Just-
are,
I got it here, just a second.
can I touch my desk too?
Okay, we've got the alcohol beverage board, 1-year term. One appointment for the library board, 4-year term. 3 appointments for the tourism commission, 2-year term. 1 appointment for Brown County Regional Sewer District, 4-year term. 1 appointment for Peterborough, 1-year term. 2 appointments for Brown County Redevelopment Commission, 1-year term. You're gonna send, did you send this all out to all of us? Can't
I
remember.
might not have, I thought I did, but I
Uh-uh,
didn't
you didn't.
apparently.
Okay, send it to everybody.
Yeah.
Can I see that? Oh, you got it? Yeah.
No.
Don't get-
I've already said, I put it in the paper,
Well,
I thought I sent it to you guys, but I'll send it.
All right, let's go on. This is the boilerplate. We're not adjourned yet. All applications must submit their resume and or letter of interest to the county auditor on or before 4 p.m. on January 16th, 2026, and attend a meeting on January 20th at 5:30 p.m. in the Salmon Room. Applicants will be asked to briefly speak to their interest and qualifications. Applicants may be appointed at the January 20th meeting or the February 17th meeting. Individuals interested in being considered for appointment may obtain further information from the county auditor.
That's soon enough.
Soon enough.
I thought you said before the end of the year.
Now we changed it.
Okay.
Apparently I was wrong.
All right.
This is more accurate, thank you.
Can I see that page for about 1.5 seconds?
So they have to submit by January what?
16th, or I believe that,
16th.
is that the,
Thank you.
verify that date.
16th, yeah.
January 16th.
Okay,
Motion to adjourn.
Can I
seconded,
put art down here?
No.
Emergency, Jim?
Sandy,
Okay,
Do I
Jim.
have, I know.
She's already.
Darren,
Yes.
Judy.
Yep.
Scott,
No.
Gary,
yes,
Patrick.
Yes.
Joel,
Yes.
Jim.
Yes.
meeting adjourned.
You took my vote out. I was saying no, just-
Everybody sign everything that's supposed to sign.
Yeah.